President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Bill number 1509 is an act establishing the Philippine Geriatric Center, defining its purposes and objectives and appropriating funds thereof. Mr. President, my first concern when I saw this, of course, is to say, oh, I'm so glad that the elderly in our community are being given, thank you, given the attention that they need. I think no one will disagree that health is wealth, and the older, and sadly we only realize it as we get older. So to establish a center that would recognize the importance of healthy aging is a good thing, and I congratulate the sponsor for that.
Thank you, Mr. President.
So on that note, what then concerns me, and it's a concern it's my way of thinking whenever I see a new bill, is how do we ensure that this bill achieves the purpose for the purpose it was drafted. And the purpose is exactly as I said, if I may say it in a very light way, to healthy aging. How do we ensure that that is achieved? When I see that there is a center, meaning a specific center being constructed, then doon ako kinakabahan, because I'm not a big fan of physical establishments. What I like to see is that an entire system is being established. At the proper time, I will propose amendments to ensure that this is a system that we are creating and not just a center. Because when I read the provisions of the bill, and this is basically section 4 on purpose and objectives, ando naman. Magaganda naman yung objectives. I just don't want na lahat ito nandun lang sa isang center. So for example, and I asked my staff and they told me that, and Her Honor can confirm that there is no specific location for this.
Confirming, Mr. President.
Yes. So whether ilagay mo yan sa Ilocos or sa Tawi-Tawi or sa Metro Manila, hindi ako excited na doon lang may center. Kasi syempre ang gusto ko, lahat ng matatanda makinabang. But again, as I said, when you look at the purpose, specifically D and E, this center is meant to provide consultancy services and technical assistance to DOH and other government agencies and medical institutions. And then it is also meant to provide technical assistance and capacity building in the establishment and maintenance of senior citizens wards in government hospitals. So kung talagang mahalaga itong letter C and D of section 4, then it seems that it will go beyond that physical center, Mr. President.
Salamat, Mr. President. The good gentlewoman from Taguigan Pateros is right. Sa ngayon, wala pang nakataktang lugar kung saan itatayo ang PGC. And eventually, the DOH will base the site on objective criteria gaya ng accessibility, existing health infrastructure, and population need. And the gentlelady mentioned various parts of the country, and in fact sa nagdaang hearing ng komite, minungkahi na silipin ng DOH ang feasibility of even repurposing abandoned pogo hubs in Metro Manila into PGC. And specifically, Mr. President, gentlelady, hindi nilagay sa panukalang batas specifically kung saan, para may flexibility ang ating DOH kung saan ito akmang itayo. Ang malinaw, dapat may sprawling at open spaces ang pagtatayuan ng PGC. Minimum, kayang mag-accommodate ng at least 100 bed spaces. So modest at the outset, 100 bed spaces at may puwang for expansion kung kinakailangan. Pero kasabay po nun, Mr. President, gentlelady from Taguigan Pateros, kasabay ng pagtayo ng initial na kahit 100 bed capacity, ay isusulong na nga po yung purpose and objectives ng PGC. And binanggit na po ng gentlelady from Taguigan Pateros, binanggit na po yung dalawa dito, provide consultancy and technical assistance in setting geriatric care standards at saka assist in establishing and maintaining senior citizens wards in government hospitals, and about at least 4 others. Importante po yung pag-assist sa pag-establish and maintain our senior citizens wards in government hospitals, dahil ibig sabihin kahit pa hindi pa na itatayo ang buong PGC, ma-preempt nga yung pinangangambahan ng gentle lady na makukonsentrate lang sa isang lugar dahil sa kasalukuyan na nga, 33 out of 80 DOH hospitals na ang under monitoring and mentoring ng NGCH, yung kasalukuyang National Geriatric, National Center for Geriatric Health, para maging ganap ang pagkakaroon ng local geriatric center or wards. So ibig sabihin, yung wards pa lang dun sa mga DOH hospitals ay pwedeng simula na ng force multiplier para sa kahit 100 beds muna dun sa PGC, at habang sinisimulan na rin isulong yung mga purposes and objectives ng PGC. For the record also, Mr. President, additionally, these purposes and objectives are provide affordable, quality, people-centered preventive, diagnostic, rehabilitative, and curative care for older persons, promote integrated geriatric health services nationwide in coordination with DOH, LGUs, and other stakeholders, conduct and publish scientific research on age-related diseases, at offer education and training on geriatric care for healthcare workers, social workers, academics, and volunteers. So at the outset, hindi siya fixated na kaagad bonggang capital outlay or infra kaagad. Modest pa lang on that side. Pero force multiply sa mga DOH hospitals in terms of direct medical services and care. And then sisimulan na yung ibang purposes and objectives ng eventual full-blown PGC, Mr. President.
Thank you for that, Mr. President. I appreciate the explanation of Her Honor. In fact, I actually was going to say that DOH, I would like DOH, as I believe they're the implementing agency, no? That's correct.
Yes, Mr. President.
I would like DOH to take their time in identifying the proper spot, because although we may start with modestly, no, so whether before you put up a 1 billion establishment, maybe it's 500 million, but I'd like to be a sprawling estate, or what do you call it, area. Why? Because these are people in their senior years, no, and treatment will not, and when Her Honor said this is a minimum of 100 bed capacity, I know that we define our medical establishment by their bed capacity, 100 bed capacity, 200 bed capacity. But what I would like to see is the definition of this place is that, it has, let's say 1 hectare walkable with trees all around it. So, and we are catering to, I don't know, 5,000, I'm making up the numbers, okay? We're catering to 5,000 outpatients who come here so that they can learn mindfulness, they can learn the benefits of yoga, healthy eating, mahuliman, late man lang nila malaman to, spend time maybe even with their grandchildren, because we've created now an environment where they want to grow, they want to get older. Like, they're not just going to go there to lie on the bed and be treated for a number of ailments which are common to the elderly. Parang for me, Mr. President, given na yon, di ba? What I'd like to see really is that it's state of the art, not only because it's the most scientifically advanced, we have the most expensive equipment, which would be nice. It would be a way of honoring our elderly if nandyan yung bagong MRI, di ba? Yung, kasi sila naman yung nagkakasakit. Di syempre, gandahan, bumili ka na nung magagaling na equipment. But also, the simple things in life that many of them were deprived of. And what is this? Space, clean air. Kung gawing bakasyonan man yan, I would be happy to. Like, it's a geriatric and wellness hospital and resort. Something like that, Mr. President, because I would love to age that way. I would love to be able to have a center where I can go to na pumunta ako doon to consult with my doctor, and then, well, hopefully this doesn't happen for another 25 years. But that is my dream for the elderly and for myself and for my children when they get older also, that you'll go to a place that also makes you happy. Hindi lang, I have to go there because I'm gonna die. You know, you want to live well. So that will be the kind of amendments Your Honor can expect from me. Like, umpisahan na rin lang natin to. Let's make it state of the art. Let's make it an amazing place for people to want to visit and to want to avail of the services. I had a discussion because I happen to handle the budget of DSWD, and I told the secretary that I've come across, I think it's in one of the Nordic countries, dementia village. So that is my inspiration, that I was asking my team for our numbers, and currently as of 2020, 0.9% of the population po yung population of as of 2020, we have 1 million senior citizens with dementia. So, but I'm not singling out dementia. There's a whole, like, maybe we have another million citizens who are not that mobile, that they need assistance. But do they need assistance, therefore give them a wheelchair? Or do they need to be in an environment where they will be taught how to exercise and take care of themselves, so that they will not even need a wheelchair for the next 10 years? This is not even cutting edge technology. This is basic care that we should be extending to our seniors. So my point, Mr. President, is although we have a young population, tatanda din lahat yan. So tamang-tama talaga na ipasa natin ito, but let's take time to work hard on it. Let's work with DSWD, who sees the other dimension. I understand that the bill, it works clearly here. It states clearly here in section 4F that the center will provide education and training for not just healthcare professionals, but also social workers and volunteer organizations. So tama to. It's really all in the right direction. I'm very excited to work with this, but we know that we have a shortage of shortage of healthcare workers. The more specialized, the bigger the shortage. Our current ratio for geriatric specialists to patient is 1:60,000. So ang konti nun, di ba? So, sobrang konti ng ating specialist. But I always say in every interpellation, whether it's education or health, you can expand their services by precisely training other workers. So you train the social worker, you train the barangay health worker, you train the volunteer organizations. All of that is already in the bill, which is what excites me, because you may only have one geriatric specialist, but then you have a battalion of trained personnel. So you'll have the nurse who specialize in geriatrics. You'll have the technicians na sanay sa matatanda, malaking pasensya sa matatanda. You have these volunteers. And my dream, actually, Mr. President, is also to have care services for children, especially the neglected children, near the care services for the elderly, because they naturally need each other, the young and the old, and they naturally have experience to share with each other. The elderly can be nurturing to the young ones, and the young ones can provide the kind of physical support that these elderly lack. So these are just observations, Mr. President's ideas that I'm just dumping on the sponsor. Any response will be welcome.
Thank you.
I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much for those, Mr. President. The good sponsors' advice about DOH taking its time will be very well taken. Ngayon pa lamang, dahil kino-contemplate po ng bill, ini-imagine niya that the PGC, the Philippine Geriatric Center, syempre, depende sa diskarte ng DOH, could undergo a 5 to 7 years phased implementation, at least. Mula po sa planning, site selection, construction, hiring, soft to full operations. Of course, as the good sponsor, as Her Honor mentioned, ang pinakamalaking hamon ay workforce shortage. Bukod sa funding, sustainability, interagency coordination at integration sa UHC at LGU networks, pati na ang pagsisiguro na makarating ang serbisyo sa mga rehiyon. And speaking of workforce shortage, again on point ang observation ng Her Honor, ang kakulangan pa talaga ng mga specialists natin para sa geriatric care. In fact, right now, based sa datos, 173 lang ang active geriatricians sa buong bansa. In a population approaching 120 million in the next few years, na slowly lumalaki din ang percentage ng mga older persons, kung kaya't in a few years, magigit na tayong slowly aging population. So this is one of the areas for workforce development and training. Maging national training hub ang PGC for geriatricians, nurses, therapists, and allied professionals. Ang ganda ng pangarap ng Her Honor tungkol sa physical look and feels, no, ng PGC. It would be wonderful kung magkaroon nga tayo ng 1 hectare, walkable, puno ng puno, malinis ang hangin. In such a setting, pwede tayong hindi lang mangarap pero magplano dun sa magnitude na sinabi ni Her Honor na 5,000 outpatients. Malay natin, sa ngayon kasi, sa kasalukuyang National Center for Geriatric Health, dun po sa Jose Arias Memorial Medical Center, lumalabas 230 plus ang kanilang outpatient cases every day.
Per day.
Opo. So, ang laking force multiplier kung magkaroon ng in good time, without, while taking time, but in good time, magkaroon ng isang PGC na mas maluwag at mas may espasyo para sa outpatients seeking to cure or maintain their health, Mr. President.
I was just about to react, Mr. President, to that number, 230 outpatients. Can you imagine, Mr. President, 230 yan, malamang umaga pa lang nakapila na dyan. Malamang nakaupo lang yan sa bangko. Malamang lately ko lang nakita yung nauuso na yung pila na may upuan, 'di ba? Matatanda na rin yan. Of course, sitting is the new smoking, but when you're not feeling well, you need to sit down, 'di ba? Mahirap na yung nakatayo ka, pumipila ka. Can you imagine even if we don't even add to the number of patients that can be accommodated, pero itong 230 nandun sa may ilalim ng puno, nandun muna tinuturuan mag-meditation or kung anumang sayawan habang inaantay nila yung appointment nila. Di kaya mas okay yun, or nandun sila sa isang room na they can listen to calm music, they can watch performing arts, I don't know. But there's so much that they can do in lieu of just standing in line. That
Yes.
already, to me, would be already a more pleasant experience. Hindi ho ba, Madam, Mr. President?
Opo, Mr. President. At Her Honor is right. At malamang kahit sa mga kinakailangan mag-inpatient, even for a while, mas maging positive yung
Exactly.
healing experience nila, yung patient experience nila, kung yung PGC ay magkaroon nga ng 100-bed capacity kumpara sa kasalukuyang 25-bed capacity lamang dun sa kasalukuyang National Center for Geriatric Health ng JRR
Na 25 lang.
MMC.
Oo,
25 lamang,
napakaliit.
Mr. President. Napakaliit po
Yes.
talaga. So, lumalabas nasa 8 o 10 nakatatanda ang ina-admit nila araw-araw. And of course, we're always talking not just about the quantity but the quality of the care. So, maparami na yung kayang serbisyohan, outpatient man o inpatient, and then mas gumanda din yung at least yung setting for a high quality of care, Mr.
And
President.
idagdag ko na po dyan kasi I know her honor is taking notes, no?
Na po.
Na yung meron din tayong facility that the loved ones can stay in, parang hostel type man lang for the loved ones na nag-aalaga nung kanilang elderly loved ones. So in other words, kung may serious case yun na kailangan nga niya ng inpatient care, sometimes hindi yan iiwanan ng anak di ba? Tapos saan yan magsistay? I mean, it's a nightmare. So sana kasama din yan sa planning nila, di ba? Parang kahit dormitory style para they still are near their loved ones. In the US, I think familiar ang ating kasamahan. They call it it's a volunteer program. It's called the Ronald McDonald House. There's a whole movie on this. I watched it on the plane one day. This female doctor, I don't know if it's in the 1950s. She ended up creating that whole support system for people with serious ailments. Kasi yung specialty niya, if I'm not mistaken, was blood disorders, and a lot of them had a high chance of dying. So they needed long-term care in the hospital. So naghanap siya ng paraan na may private funders who would put up this facility. So I wanted to be part of this dream for a holistic geriatric center, because who of us want to be sick or die alone? Di ba? We would want to be near our loved ones. And of course, like I said, maingat ako dun sa pagtatayo ng physical facility niyan, but the reality is you need that physical facility. So kung mapunta ka man doon at malayo yan sa hometown mo, until nakapagpatayo tayo or napaganda natin yung mga regional hospitals and their own geriatric wards or geriatric departments, then I want them to be able to have a facility for their loved ones to, if not just visit, but also stay. So isama ho natin yan sa wish list natin.
Very well noted, Mr. President, Your Honor, this matter of nearby or accessible dorms, kung hindi man sa ilalim din ng direct supervision ng Department of Health, at least maybe some
Maybe
kind of
DSWD
referral system
can have
nearby.
something like that.
Opo, opo,
may-
or lalo na in cooperation sa local health board
Yes.
or yung LGU na magkaroon ng ganyang ding referral system for the family or even friends who would accompany the patient kapag inpatient services ang avail of niya. And salamat dun sa halimbawa, Mr. President, Your Honor, tungkol dun sa isang modelo sa United States, napaiisip tuloy tayo na we could also explore public-private partnerships if the
definitely.
DOH would be open to that, lalo na kapag isinusulong na itong mga purposes and objectives ng PGC sa iba't ibang rehiyon ng ating bansa, Mr. President.
Yes. So siguro, Mr. President, hanggang dito na lang muna ako kasi these are just some thoughts that I have, some initial observations. Again, I thank the sponsor kasi maganda talaga yung layunin na to. And at the proper time, we will make our amendments, but at least na paalam na natin sa sponsor yung direksyon ng ating mga amendments, Mr. President.
Maraming salamat, Mr. President, at maraming salamat po, Your Honor. I'll be eagerly awaiting those proposed amendments.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before I, is there any other before we suspend the measure, Mr. President? Senator Robin Hood Padilla. Yeah, let's suspend. Mr. President, I move that before we suspend, I move that of course, with the consent of the body, that there is a related measure, so I move that we include the Senate Bill number 1500 or 1500 titled Geriatric Act, Health Act of Senator Villar to be included in the Committee Report 13 for the body's reference and consideration. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion's approved.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, move to suspend consideration of the measure.
I beg pardon?
Suspend consideration of the measure.
Session suspended.
No, no, no.
Oh,
The
no,
consideration of the measure.
Consideration of the measure suspended.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Pagod na rin tayo lahat, Mr. President. Mahirap talaga pag budget ang pinag-uusapan ng for almost 3 weeks. But sponsorships, are you ready for your sponsorships? May I move for the additional reference of business, Mr. President?
Secretary will proceed with the additional reference to business.
Second additional reference to business, message of the President of the Philippines. Letter of His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. dated 10 October 2025, submitting for the Senate's consideration and concurrence the Asia-Pacific Regional Convention on the Recognition of Qualifications in Higher Education, Tokyo Convention, which was adopted on 26 November 2011 in Tokyo, Japan.
Refer to the Committee on Foreign Relations.
Bills on first reading. Senate Number 1590, an act providing for the regulation and disposal of biomedical waste, declaring certain acts unlawful and prescribing penalties therefore. Senator Villarsi.
To the Committees on Health, Local Government, and Finance.
Senate Number 1591, an act to develop the Philippine corn industry, enhance the availability and affordability of quality feeds and staple food, and provide for a corn competitiveness enhancement fund. Senator Villarsi.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Ways and Means, and Finance.
Senate Number 1592, an act declaring October 5 of every year as Philippine Meningitis Day. Senator Villarsi.
To the Committee on Health.
Senate Number 1594, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Elizabeth Jeanette Means. Senators Cayetano P., Cayetano AP, and Go.
To the Committee on Rules.
Senate Number 1595, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Benny Francois Boatwright III. Senators Cayetano P., Cayetano AP, and Go.
To the Committee on Rules.
Senate Number 1596, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Maodo Malik Duf. Senators Cayetano P., Cayetano AP, and Go.
To the Committee on Rules.
Senate Number 1597, an act to regulate the resale of tickets to concerts, events, sporting activities, and other public gatherings, prohibiting unauthorized scalping and prescribing penalties therefore. Senator Tulfo R.
Refer to the Committee on Trade.
Committee Report 21, prepared and submitted jointly by the Committees on Health and Demography, Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development, and Finance. On Senate Number 1593, with Senators Lacson, Go, Marcos, Tulfo R., and Ontiveros as authors. An act establishing the Universal Healthcare Medical Assistance Program, integrating therewith the Medical Assistance to Indigent and Financially Incapacitated Persons Program, and providing funds therefore. Recommending its approval in substitution of Senate Numbers 404, 409, 1460, and 1473. Sponsor, Senator Ontiveros.
To the calendar for ordinary business. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, may we transfer from the calendar of ordinary business to special order? 1593, are you ready for 1593? Yes. Senate Bill number 1593 under Committee Report number 21. Mr. Lupus kasi we're going to, kami ni Mark magko-sponsor din. I so move, Mr. President. This is
Which,
1593.
what are you moving for? What Senate Bill?
Senate Bill number 1593 under Committee Report number 21.
Senate Bill 1593 under Committee Report 21.
Yes, Mr. President.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, consideration is in order.
May we ask the Secretary to read the title of the measure?
Secretary will read the title of the measure.
An act establishing the Universal Healthcare Medical Assistance Program, integrating therewith the Medical Assistance to Indigent and Financially Incapacitated Persons Program, and providing funds therefore.
Mr. President, may we recognize the sponsor, distinguished the Deputy Majority Floor Leader, Senator Risa Ontiveros, to sponsor the measure.
Senator Risa Ontiveros is recognized to sponsor the measure.
Salamat po, Mr. President. Mr. President, I rise to sponsor the Universal Healthcare Medical Assistance Program Act, a reform that strengthens our universal healthcare system and delivers one clear message. Walang Pilipinong dapat maiwanan sa oras ng pagkakasakit. Every day, our hospitals receive patients who are not only battling illness, but also the fear of financial ruin. This bill responds with a simple guarantee. Kung may sakit, hindi ka mag-iisa. Handa ang gobyernong tulungan ka. Walang kapalit, walang kondisyon. This measure not only institutionalizes the current medical assistance for indigent and financially incapacitated patients, MAIFIP program, it also aligns and unifies it under one transparent, accountable framework consistent with our commitment to truly universal health care. The UHC Medical Assistance Program, or UHC MAP, ensures that indigent and financially struggling patients receive assistance for hospitalization, outpatient care, diagnostics, medicines, and professional fees with low to no co-payment after PhilHealth and other deductions. The program's coverage will be available to indigent patients and to financially incapacitated individuals, those who may not be classified as poor, but who clearly cannot afford the high and often catastrophic cost of medical treatment. These include patients with life-threatening illnesses, prolonged hospitalizations, or extremely expensive therapies that would otherwise push families into debt or destitution. Their financial status will be assessed fairly and professionally by registered social workers, ensuring that the assistance reaches those who truly need it most. Eligibility will be determined solely by registered social workers. Applications must be processed within 72 hours, and all data will be protected under strict privacy rules. An integrated database will prevent double charging and safeguard public funds. To further strengthen our public health system nationwide, the bill dedicates at least 30% of the UHC MAP fund to our LGU-run and SUC hospitals, many of which serve the poorest and most medically underserved communities. Funding will be based on performance, improved referral systems, and stronger local health networks. Ngayon pa lang po, magpapaumanhin tayo sa posibilidad na magbago ang kalakaran sa pag-access ng UHC Medical Assistance Program. Diretso na sa hospital. At mas malakit pinalakas na papel ng medical social services. Towards this end, we also ensure that our social workers and program implementers are shielded from pressures, threats, or coercion. The program's funds will be fully auditable by the COA with strict anti-fraud mechanisms and penalties for misuse. And in times of disaster or public health emergencies, the DOH may fast-track applications so that help reaches our people when they need it most. Mr. President, this is a clean, efficient, compassionate reform. It strengthens universal health care. It restores dignity to patients. It protects public money. And it ensures that health remains what it should always be, a right, not a privilege, not a favor. Lastly, Mr. President, nais ko ring ipaalam sa plenary na ang pinapanukala nating UHC Medical Assistance Act ay hindi po forever. Unless extended by an act of Congress, the UHC MAP shall remain in force for 10 years from its effectivity. Nilagay po natin ang provision na ito dahil sa pangarap nating tunay na universal healthcare, kung saan umaasa tayo na ang DOH at PhilHealth ay makakapagpababa ng husto ng out-of-pocket expenses at makakamit ang zero o no balance billing. Kaya nagpapasalamat po ako kina Senator Ping Lacson, Vice Chair Bongo, Senator Amy Marcos, at Senator Raffy Tulfo sa kanilang mga panukalang batas na may kinalaman sa MAIFIP. Dahil dito, nabigyan tayo ng pagkakataong i-align ang programang ito sa pangarap nating universal health care at sapat na financial protection para sa ating mga kababayang nangangailangan. I respectfully seek the support of this chamber for the passage of the UHC Medical Assistance Program Act. Marami pong salamat, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, our distinguished colleague from Davao and Batangas, Senator Bongo, would also like to deliver his co-sponsorship speech of the same measure.
Senator Christopher Bongo is recognized.
Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, just a manifestation po. First of all, we support the original intent of this measure, which institutionalizes the medical assistance program of the government. Gusto natin ma-streamline, mabilis po yung tulong at wag pong pahirapan yung mga pasyente. Maraming pasyente pa rin po ang nakaasa sa medical assistance sa programs ng gobyerno. Yung iba
nagmamakaawa, pumipila kahit saan para makahingi lang po ng tulong, hindi lang po sa atin dito sa Senado, kundi sa iba't ibang LGUs at yung iba nagsusulisit po. At dahil na rin yan sa kakulangan ng PhilHealth coverage, kulang talaga. Minsan may mga hospital billings, sinasagot ng PhilHealth is less than 1%. At sa patuloy na pagkakaroon po ng out-of-pocket spending ng mga mahihirap na pasyente, alam naman natin na hirap pong magkasakit at malaki pa rin po ang out-of-pocket spending ng mga pasyente. Kaya importante po na masiguro natin na tuloy-tuloy ang medical assistance program ng gobyerno. We also want to clearly legislate the protection from political interference. Dapat po walang matanggihan ng mga pasyente, walang pinipili, walang politika. Hindi na po dapat lumapit sa politiko para humingi ng tulong sa kanilang pagpapahospital. Kung sino yung nangangailangan ng tulong, doon po ibigay ang tulong. Ang layunin po natin dito magkaroon ng maasahang serbisyo at tulong para sa mga pasyente. Having said that, Mr. President, I want to make off record that it is important to streamline and harmonize the processes outlined in the bill with the current practice and processes, which is also in line with existing laws. Importante po ito para hindi malito at guided at mag-guide po ng mabuti ang mga pasyente kung saan ba sila hihingi ng tulong at lalapit. Padaliin natin at simplihan natin ang proseso. Yan po ang layunin po ng batas. Ito pong Republic Act 11463. Ito pong Malasakit Centers Act na ipinasa natin sa noong 18 Congress headed by Senate President Tito Soto at mga kasamahan natin dito, Senator Riza, Senator Mig Subiri. Na one-stop shop po ito sa mga medical assistance sa pantulong po sa mga pasyente. Batas na po ito na pinasa natin para maging accessible at mas convenient para sa mga pasyente ang pagbibigay serbisyo ng gobyerno. Wala po siyang sariling pondo. One-stop shop po siya. Andiyan na po yung PCSO, DSWD, DOH at ang ito pong PhilHealth. And currently we have 167 malasakit centers nationwide. All DOH hospitals are also mandated to establish and maintain malasakit centers. Pag LGU naman sila ang nagme-maintain nito. In line with this law, in my original bill, malasakit centers shall continue to facilitate the provision of medical assistance in hospitals with existing malasakit centers. Sa ngayon po, more than 15 million Filipinos na po ang natulungan ng malasakit centers. Pwede po silang lumapit sa malasakit centers dahil doon po kadalasan located sa Medical Social Services Unit ng mga hospital. Desk lang po siya, kwarto po siya ng hospital. Andiyan na po yung PhilHealth, PCSO, DOH at DSWD. Or yung iba po, maliit na kwarto, magkakatabi po yung mga upuan nila. Ang importante, guided yung mga pasyente sa kanilang lalapitan. At it is headed by a medical social worker ang nag-head po ng malasakit centers. At ito naman po sana ang ating gustong mangyari na hindi po mahirapan ng mga pasyente. Guided po sila na ayan na yung one-stop shop na paghingian po nila ng tulong mula sa iba't ibang ehensya ng gobyerno. Ang layunin po ng aking bill na isinulong ito pong pag-institutionalize ng MAIP or Medical Assistance Program ay para po doon sa part ng DOH na meron pong pangtulong doon sa apat na agencies. Dahil para yearly na po, funded na po at maging ma-institutionalize na po yung MAIP na part po ng Malasakit Center. Malaking tulong po ito sa ating mga kababayan ang Malasakit Center dahil nga po one-stop shop po siya na hindi na nila kailangan lumabas pa ng hospital sa paghingi ng tulong. Noon po wala pang Malasakit Center, lalapit sila sa mga city offices, provincial offices ng PCSO, ubos na yung pamasahe nila, ubos pa yung panahon nila is sa kakapila, minsan madaling araw pa lang, humingi na sila ng tulong. Napakalayo sa ospital, naiiwan pa nila ang kanilang mga pasyente, tapos pupunta na naman sila pangalawang araw sa DOH, hingi ng tulong, pupunta po sila sa PhilHealth, ubos yung panahon, 1 linggo po sa paghingi ng tulong. With Malasakit Center, Andiyan na po yung isang kwarto na pwede nilang paglalapitan. Pero yung intention po ng aking bill na i-file ay ma-institutionalize yung isang parte o bahagi ng Malasakit Center. Ito pong sa DOH, ito po yung Medical Assistance Program na tuloy-tuloy po ang kanilang ma-avail na tulong mula sa gobyerno dahil unang-una pera po ng taong bayan yan. Pera ng Pilipino yan na pwede nilang i-avail. We just want to emphasize na pwedeng lumapit sa Malasakit Center sa mga ospital na mayroon dahil iisang opisina lang naman po sila ng Medical Social Services Unit and we can possibly put it or slash po na lalapitan po nila aside from Medical Social Services Unit or Social Service Head ang lalapitan nila, pwede rin sila lumapit doon sa help desk ng Malasakit. For this reason, at the proper time, we wish to harmonize the provisions of the bill with the processes already laid out in the law and current processes in the availment of the medical assistance program to avoid confusion and to properly guide the patients. We look forward working with a good sponsor on this point. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, allow our colleagues to study the measure further. I move that we suspend consideration of the measure.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration suspended.
So, Mr. President, there being no other matters on their agenda, I move that we adjourn session until Monday, December 15, 2026 at 3 p.m. There you go.